First store we came across, residents had prized open a window and were taking construction supplies, saying they had no choice, with no official help reaching here. This is about survival and putting a roof over their head for tonight.
We are survive. We are trying to survive in this.
I've ate what I've got early, but we're going down. We got no food.
In the town's main square, ravaged by the merciless winds of Hurricane Melissa,
so let's walk this way.
we met Steve Beckford. What supplies are you looking for?
Like water, juice, tin food.
He was unapologetic in saying he was here to take what he needed.
We are hungry here now, so what we can get until they assist us, we will take it.
But 3 days on, I asked, where is the help and where is the government?
He hasn't come. No minister, nobody hasn't reached there. No supplies, no helicopter help, nothing.
How is it that people here are having to stumble through rubble to find water? You've got here some
Catching pig.
you've just got water,
Yeah.
and basic food supplies.
We are down. We are homeless.
What do you need most?
We need a house. We need a house. We need a house. We need shelter. We have no shelter.
Some people implored us to help mobilize the Jamaican diaspora community.
My family's in abroad. My sister all in England, Manchester. Sly people, we need you. The diaspora in the United States, Canada, St. Elizabeth people, we need you. We need some strength.
Others warned that international assistance would make it to the elites, but not beyond.
Now go give me the money where we figure people about we home. The government get that money, we'll never get it. I promise you that. Money.
The only police we saw were simply observing. They too seem overwhelmed by the situation. One explanation for the level of looting here that's in danger now of overwhelming Black River is not just about need, it's about the fear of government corruption. This sense that if aid ever reaches here, it is likely to be siphoned off. We had followed Steve Beckford in his search for food.
Yeah, we got like some drinks.
And later he showed me what he'd retrieved from the wreckage of the town that he calls home.
And some sausage.
It's a forlorn scene in this parish. The church's destruction a symbol of these desperate times, testing the faith of residents to the very...
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakakatash, double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutation to Yakim, pushing this word in sincerity and truth. This is your brother Yasai, back at it, another lesson we'll need to define. And this one here is a Hurricane Melissa. Brought judgment, right? Because despite the death toll, also the damaging many families, a lot of them basically lost their livelihood because the houses, everything mashed up, no food, no water, no sign of deliverance, so the people them they have no choice. As I say, they need water, they need food, they need things to drink. And this here is basically just a small I would use the word precursor, because so soon it's going to be so worldwide, right? Because the Lord is about to turn this place up. You're seeing, we're actually seeing that judgment being carried out in Babylon. The ice, cracking down heavily upon Jake. These Jake being separated from the family. Going back to the curses. Also, you see, the war tensions in the Caribbean with Venezuela and the US. You see, right now, a rise in crime. Also, the pushing that digital system, So everything basically adding up, right, to show you that the prophecy of the Lord did not return in void, but are coming to pass. I will read this article from BBC. Hurricane death toll rises as Jamaica aid effort struggles. At least 19 people have died, have been deleted in Jamaica as a result of Hurricane Melissa. Information right from X says as search and rescue efforts continue and authorities try to aid to hard-hit areas, the hurricane, one of the most powerful to strike the Caribbean, also deleted at least 30 people in Haiti, officials say. In Jamaica, there are entire communities that seem to be marooned and areas that seem to be flattened. Dixon said the devastating scenes in western regions. And this is mostly Jake, Jake majority dwells in Jamaica, the Benjamin. Let's say there are entire communities that seem to be right. Let's say electricity remains out to most of the islands, and as people try to salvage damaged homes and belongings from floodwater and mud, many thousands and are growing increasingly desperate for aid. Parts of the country have been without water for several days and food is growing increasingly scarce. Aid supplies are starting to arrive more rapidly, with the main airport in capital Jamaica, Kingston, largely back to normal, but smaller regional airports, some of which are located near where humanitarian assistance is most needed, remain only partly operational. Aid agency and the military are bringing in the urgently needed supplies from Kingston by land, but many roads remain unpassable in places. And this is just a little hurricane because what this devil has planned, which the devil plan ultimately is the Lord's plan, because the Lord say, let the multitude perish that was born in vain, because he will not bring down that judgment is coming, right? And a part of this man's plan in bringing forth that judgment, he's gonna stir up chaos to the four corners of the world, right? He's actually stirring up that to the four corners of the earth. For why? Right? To bring in that chaos and then come with his new way, his new world order system. That is why the digital ID system is something that is linked, is as a stepping stone or a precursor for the introducing of this system. Right? But I'm gonna keep on point, I'm gonna get second as a 16, the plagues. The plagues going into new sons. Second as a 16 and 2. Gird yourself with clothes of sack and hair, bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench? Plagues are sent on you, and what is he that may drive them away? So let's go into the word plague from the Merriam-Webster, because this actually kind of links to the etymology of the words, taking it back to the Greek, or the Latin too. So plague, a disastrous or evil or affliction, a calamity. Wasn't that not a calamity, that hurricane with the flooding? It brought destruction to many homes, flattened communities. It even brought death. A destructively numerous influx or multiplication of a noxious, not that. An epidemic disease causing a high rate of mortality, pestilence. You know, so basically it comes in any form. A cause of irritation, nuisance, a sudden unwelcome outbreak. So it goes into many different things. So the nuclear missile is a plague. The you know being infested with different parasites and and all these different things is a plague. You know, any sort of thing causing irritation, nuisance, bringing judgment, you know, basically in a form of a plague, a calamity, a disaster. Let's see, verse 6, may any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench a fire in the stubble when it had begun to burn. And this here is a representation, a metaphor. Basically, I would actually say I speak as a man for the prophecies, because how it works is that trickling effect. One thing after the next, everything adding up at the end of the day, you know. That fire, that stubble already lit. That stubble already lit. The heap of rubbish might be further down the road, but just as a as a bushfire, it might be a big heap of nice dry grass quite down the road, but there's little low grass that it's able to give way for the fire to run just to reach that big blaze. And that's how it is in everything, basically. The prophecies, you know, coming into to play until it lead up to that major judgment. Because the Lord say He's gonna number them to the sword and whatnot. We get the Isaiah, which is because the mighty Lord, the Lord sending these things, you know. Isaiah 29:6, it said, thou shalt be visited of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, powerful with thunder, and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flames of devouring fire, because is Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai in control of these things. And whether it may be through the devil, you know, as we know they have dew, and these different seeding and cloud seeding and all these different methods that they may use to cause natural disaster, because they explain and they say they have these equipment. That's why they could speak bold and say they don't need the God of the Bible anymore, right? That's why they could say these things. Yeah, because the Lord, slowly but surely the Lord turning it up. That's why we've seen all these events taking place. That's why the scriptures say in Matthew 24, this is just the beginning of sorrow. Matthew 24 and verses 8, and all these are the beginning of sorrow. Let me start at this. And this scripture is coming out so frequent because that is basically the prophecies are speaking. 24:6, Matthew 24:6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Are we not hearing wars and rumors of wars? Trinidad, you know, Venezuela, the US, Ukraine, Russia, Taiwan, China, Israel, Palestine, you know. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So though we see all of these things happening, a big great prophecy that we ought to see the MOTB. Right? That's why they already started that setting up of the system with the digital ID system. For nation shall rise up against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. Yeah, because disasters, hurricanes, these things could bring destruction, and in a matter of days, the food eat out, you know, because no everybody nowhere to go, homeless, everything destroyed, food supplies finishing in a matter of days. Yeah, and it's all hell breaking loose because the scripture says it is even the time of Jacob's trouble. And you've seen it, Jake being cracked up on to the four corners of the earth. And it's only going to extensify. And pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So we ought to expect more, you know. So hey, just one short, quick and straight to the point. Hopefully this was edifying. All praises there, how about Shem Shai. Double honors to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone. You know, stay tuned, you know, because we're looking upon what's actually happening to the four corners of the earth as the prophets of the Lord saying in this in the spirit of Yahushua, which is the spirit of prophecy. So until the next Shalom.